October the 7th, 2024. Guys, I just put the new track in from the National Hurricane Center. The storm is increasing. It's 155 now. Get it 156 and above, you're in a Cat 5. The winds were going to be coming in as far as the gust. On top of that, 190 miles per hour. But that's changed to 201 mile per hour, 175 knots. Look it up, but a 201 mile per hour gust as this thing becomes a Cat 5. Now, it's supposed to slow down to a 3 or 4 by the time it gets close to shore. It's still going to be a hurricane, though, over here, guys, at pretty good Cat 1 from the report. But notice the difference in the tracking. Look at that. These two marks were from two previous tracks. But Tampa, St. Petersburg, Tampa Bay, if this thing holds, this is the worst case scenario, because even with Helene, this upper section of Tampa Bay and some of these places were flooded really bad. And back it out, let's look at the path. Again, Tampa's here, Winter Haven, and the storm was south of Winter Haven, maybe 50 miles this morning, the center of it, as far as the projected path. Here's Winter Park, Orlando, Winter Park. Of course, you got Diddy World up in there coming out now back above the Cape Canaveral area here. This would be Oak Hill, Allenhurst, Eldora, Bethune Beach, Creighton, Mims, Titusville, Wilson. And just think about the right side of the storm. Again, that's going to be the worst because it's rotating counterclockwise. But you can look at your areas. You can take this map, guys, or you can take the video, pause it, and look at some of the areas. But all of Orlando looks like it will be affected. All of Tampa will be affected if this thing doesn't change. We've seen it change, but each day it's going to get a little closer. Now, let's take a look at not only the satellite images, but some of the satellite or the National Hurricane Center data also. Now, we're down to 933 millibars pressure. Again, we're speeding up to 8 knots now, probably about closer to 10 miles an hour in that motion. But look, right here with 135 knots sustained winds, that is 155 miles per hour. The gust right now is 165, and that's 190 miles an hour. That's now. But as you go down, the next point on this showing 145 knot winds, which is 167 miles an hour. Again, strong Cat 5. Because, and then your gust at 175 knots, that is 201.1 miles per hour. Think about it. Very strong, maybe one of the stronger ones ever to hit Florida. But it's in a low-lying area. It's moving north back in heavily congested cities, crossing back over, again, Tampa, Orlando, all the way through that area. But, guys, just in the next update after what's coming up, we're still at 140 knots. That's 161 mile per hour. Cat 5, 170 mile per hour gust. You guys, you're dealing with right around 195 miles per hour as far as the top end. Then 135 here, you can see it start to slow down. That's 155 miles per hour. That's back to where we are now with gust at 165, which is 190. And it shows it getting back down to the Cat 3 and Cat 2 categories as it gets closer inland. That would be a great thing. Now, remember this. Cat 5 will push out in front of it for hundreds or 200 miles, guys. The wind pressure, the waves, all of that energy, you could stop the center dead still. And that energy, that inertia is already in motion. So you're going to have, you might as well say Cat 5, storm surge, and the initial winds. And check this out, guys. Perfect eye. Look at that. We're going to look at it a little closer. I just want to point out right now in Florida you're getting a lot of moisture. But I was looking just before I started this video at the Sarasota beach cams there, and your clouds you're seeing these low clouds moving offshore. I noticed for 6 hour span on that camera, did it real fast. that you were getting at, that's going to change before too long. But right now, that's what you're seeing, and that's pushing water out into the bay, and that's going to help with storm surge as long as that holds up. But down here, a little further south, that's already been changed. The storm's making up its own weather patterns. See, right through here, just below this area, it's moving back in. So the faster it comes through, as far as forward speed, the better, because you'll have less rain. But it's not 10 miles an hour is not that fast. And looking at the infrared, again, perfect eye right there. Florida, you got all of this for the last few days that you see here. And it looks like this may be thrown out as the storm picks up. So it may be you're going to get a break maybe tonight from some of this moisture, but then it's going to be right behind it. South Florida, you're getting it now. But again, the lower clouds are right in here is where the change is, from moving offshore to back onshore and creating its own weather. Let's take a very close look at this eye. Guys, and with that last report being at 155 mile per hour storm, it's increasing. Look at that eye spinning to perfection right there at the end. We're definitely into a Cat 5 already. You'll see it in the next report. Check that out. Wow. And this is as close as I can get. Yucatan, you're under hurricane warnings, and you better be very prepared because you're in this bad section of the hurricane. Look at that. There are hurricane warnings all up and down this area. A lot of energy there. Check that out, guys. This is going to be one for the record books. And I saw where JLR Investigates, a lot of you guys remember him. You still watching, many of you do, that they are opening up all of the dumps that we can see there. They have FEMA on the ground at the big Coliseum there where they think it's coming in, and it's loaded with trucks, guys, full of food, clothing, supplies. I guess they got so burned in the Carolina area, or they have different intentions altogether, but they are fully prepared. But I don't think, as far as it looks like, they got maybe 20 big buses, including a couple of medical buses. But he was walking around the parking lot filming, and you could see a lot of supplies. They were unloaded. And it was a private company, but FEMA was there. Now, remember, we were talking about in the Carolinas and Georgia that FEMA bids, they send out notices for bids on food supplies for these natural disasters and emergencies. Then whatever company has the right lobbying in the swamp will get the contract, right? And that may be what we're seeing with the big trucks, because the big ones, they were wearing a different shirt, but there were FEMA vans everywhere and things like that. But these big trucks were more independent, but being fully allowed to be in there with everything you would need, they think. Totally unlike what's happening in the mountains. It's a sad situation. Now, this came out 30 minutes ago. You've got CMC model right here coming under the A in Tampa in this pale green line. Navy model is further north. It's north of Tampa, headed up towards the Jacksonville area, back closer to the area that Helene came in. And I'm still amazed to see, I know I mentioned it in the last video, from JLR and others that are down there in Florida where they're expecting this to hit, and the amount of damage that was done that far away from where Helene came in. It was a large, massive storm. This one is going to be stronger. Now, this came out since I've started this video, the update here, and they're showing it is now a Cat 5. It's going to scrape the northern Yucatan as a Cat 5. It's slowing down, they're saying, to a Cat 4 by Wednesday morning at 8 a.m., guys. You need to be out of here tonight and tomorrow very early. They're already reporting, and I saw DeSantis say this early, that the gas lines were really backed up. He said they had more coming in, but while we're into these high hurricane winds, they'll be shut down a lot of bridges. They'll be able to come in afterwards if it runs completely out. But he said they're ordering diesel, millions of gallons of that, and gasoline. So he's on top of that. It's a good thing. But notice the center of the path, back right through Tampa like we're seeing now. This is Fox Hurricane Sky Tower. out here, this is still a Cat 1, guys, as it comes across. So it's going to be slowing down from a possible Cat 3. So you're going to be getting a Cat 2, guys, up into the Diddyland area. And then Cat 1 as it comes back offshore. If this stays intact. 925 millibars of pressure, dropping very low. East-southeast at 9 miles per hour. 160 mile per hour winds right now. Now you can see quite a difference between this video this morning from the southernmost point of the continental U.S. down in the Keys. People are lined up to get it. They've got to get this picture. I guess if I went down there, I'd want it too, wouldn't you guys? But seas are much higher. You're starting to see that splash. And even with Helene, we were seeing it splash over this cone. And it's probably about 10 foot tall, I would say, looking at the size of these folks against it. But everything's heating up in the area. And the hurricane is not coming in here unless it makes a drastic change to the south. Just telling you the strength. The entire Gulf of Mexico now understands it's under the control of a mega hurricane. Guys, we're going to stay right on top of it. Don't worry about that. It's a heads up. Be safe.